The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. A story of innovation and determination. Imagine being a young boy living in a village where hunger is a constant companion and hope seems as distant as the stars. Your family, your friends, and your entire community are struggling to survive in the face of drought. The crops fail and food becomes scarce. But what if in the middle of this crisis you discovered a way to change everything, not just for your family, but for your entire village? This is the true story of William Kamkwamba, a boy from Malawi who took on the impossible and proved that even the most daunting challenges can be overcome with determination, creativity, and a belief in the power of change. William Kamkwamba was born in 1987 in a small village in Malawi, a country in southeastern Africa. Life in his village was simple but tough. Most of the villagers were farmers, relying entirely on the land and the rains for their survival. In 2001, when William was just 14 years old, a severe drought hit the region. Crops withered in the fields and soon food supplies began to run out. William's family, like many others, was plunged into hunger and despair. There was no food and no money to buy more. People were starving and the future seemed bleak. William, like the other children in his village, had to drop out of school because his parents could no longer afford the fees. But instead of giving up, he began to spend his days in the local library, eager to keep learning. In that small library amid old books that others had left behind, William stumbled across a book that would change his life, using energy. The book showed diagrams of how windmills could generate electricity and pump water. To most people, these might have seemed like distant, abstract ideas, especially in a place where there was no electricity and certainly no windmills. But to William, they sparked an idea. He realized that if he could build a windmill, he could generate electricity and pump water from the ground. With water, the villagers could irrigate their fields, grow crops, and feed their families, even in times of drought. It seemed like a crazy idea for a 14-year-old boy with no formal training, but William believed in it. William had no money, no tools, and no resources, but he didn't let that stop him. He scoured junkyards looking for anything he could use, from discarded bicycle parts, old tractor fans, and bits of wire. William began to piece together his vision. Day by day, he worked tirelessly, building his windmill from scraps. He had no blueprint other than the diagrams in the book and his own imagination. As you can imagine, the people in his village didn't believe him. They laughed at him, thinking he had lost his mind. How could a boy who couldn't even afford to stay in school build something as complicated as a windmill, they thought. But William didn't let their doubt shake him. Every day he woke up with the same determination, to build a windmill that could save his village. After months of hard work, trial and error, William's windmill was finally complete. It wasn't pretty, it was made from rusted metal and scrap wood. But it worked. The windmill spun in the breeze, generating enough electricity to power a small light bulb in William's home. But that wasn't the end of the story. Inspired by his initial success, William built a second, larger windmill. This time, the windmill was powerful enough to pump water from the ground. William had done what no one thought was possible. He had brought electricity and water to his village. With water from the windmill, William's family was able to irrigate their fields and grow food, even in the dry season. Soon, other villagers followed suit, and before long, William's windmill had sparked a transformation. The once drought-stricken village began to thrive again. Children returned to school, families had enough to eat, and the village was no longer at the mercy of the weather. A global inspiration. Word of William's incredible invention spread far beyond his village. Journalists from around the world came to document his windmill, and William was invited to speak at international conferences, including the prestigious TED conference. He was celebrated as a hero, not just because of his windmill, but because of what his story represented: the power of innovation, determination, and resilience in the face of overwhelming odds. In 2007, William Kamkwamba's story became known to the world when he co-authored a memoir titled The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. The book was later adapted into a Netflix film, further inspiring millions around the world. Lessons from William's story. What makes William Kamkwamba's story so powerful isn't just that he built a windmill. It's the fact that he did it with almost nothing. No money, no education, and no support. All he had was his determination and a dream. He didn't wait for someone to come and save his village. He didn't sit by, hoping for a miracle. Instead, he became the miracle. Necessity breeds innovation. William's story shows us that some of the greatest innovations come from those who face the toughest challenges. When his village was suffering, he didn't just accept the situation. He thought outside the box and found a solution. Believe in your vision. No one believed in William's windmill at first. His neighbors laughed at him, but he didn't let that stop him. He believed in his vision, and that belief fueled his determination. It's a reminder that when you have a dream, you must believe in it, even if no one else does. Small actions, big impact. William's windmill may have started as a small, simple invention, but its impact was enormous. It didn't just bring water to his family, it transformed his entire village. This shows us that even the smallest actions, when driven by purpose, can create ripples that change lives. Perseverance in the face of failure. William didn't build his windmill perfectly on the first try. He had to experiment, fail, and try again. But every failure was a lesson, and every setback was a step closer to success. His story reminds us that perseverance is the key to achieving great things. A legacy of hope. Today, William Kamkwamba's legacy continues. He has used his platform to advocate for education, renewable energy, and development in Africa. He went on to finish his education and earned a degree from Dartmouth College in the United States. But at the heart of it all, William remains the boy who saw the potential in the wind and changed his village with a dream made of scrap metal. Key takeaways: innovation and problem solving. William's story demonstrates how creativity and perseverance can solve even the most pressing problems. The power of belief. Despite being laughed at, William never stopped believing in his vision, showing the importance of self-belief. The ripple effect. A small invention like a windmill can have a huge impact, transforming not only one family but an entire community.